Testing 1 2 3. Testing. Testing 1 2 3. Testing. Hey Brenda, you're going to be my first victim. Can you hear me? No. Go in bed. Can everyone hear me so far? All right, I'm gonna have to go to my own Facebook page and listen. Just a minute, everyone. Oh, okay. Thank you, Brenda. I need to check for myself. I'm gonna have to go to my own Facebook. All right, fact. All right, just a sec, everyone. I'm also recording this for the podcast, for a podcast for those who can't make it. So I'm getting that set up. Letting everyone get here. And I will just go to town here in a minute. Testing 1 2. All right. I'll let everybody kind of populate, get everybody here. I pretty much recognize and know all of you one way or another. So those of you here so far, hello. I'll try not to blow out your eardrums doing that. For those on the podcast, I apologize. All right, well, I will just get to it because part of the rambling I have, this is for the Jack Reacher stuff. I have a private group, or a private group was created. You're welcome to check it out. What I'll do while I talk is I'll actually copy and paste so you can see it. People kind of know what I'm talking about, but the group that was created is called Bosley For Reacher. And rather than post this video in there, because it's not exclusive, that's just kind of a narrower audience, but some people may not want to join the group. So that's why I just figured I'd post it here on my public page. But yeah, so there's the group. And I'll just get to the point, and then those, I know a lot of people are going to kind of listen to this retroactively or come back to it. I have some notes that I've acquired since our last Jack Reacher talk. So if I'm looking over here, it's because that's where my notes are. I promise you all have my full attention. Still fighting that cough. I feel fine. But for those on the podcast that are hearing this, I apologize for your eardrums. All right, so basically, I'm looking at my notes, and a lot of these topics have come up, and I'll just address them. I know some people wanted to talk. What I'll talk about, here's what I'll talk about, and then I'll hit them. Some people want to know explicitly what I'm doing for diet, training, and all that for the role. I'll get to that. And then kind of some other points regarding this character being fictional, me being all over the internet, saturating for this. Hey, Adrian. And I will also be discussing looking the part versus being an actor, and then how Hollywood really works, and height and weight on screen. So I'll, again, what I'm going to touch on is training and diet, character being fictional, advertising, looking the part versus being able to act, how Hollywood works, and height and weight on screen. So let's just get to it. And you're welcome to comment. I'll try to keep up, but I'll try to not respond until I'm through these topics. Training and diet I'll do at the end. So first off, these are just notes I've been taking. In a couple of the other groups, there are some Jack Reacher groups, or yeah, pretty much Jack Reacher fan groups that have welcomed me into their world. I try not to hijack their threads, but I also am, publicizing this cause. And for those of you new, that's Izzy. She has more life than she looks, I promise. But so I'm in those groups, and basically one of the things I want to touch on, and none of this is meant to be I apologize, but not to sound like a dick. And I say a lot of this because if you don't know, I was a fan of Jack Reacher before this whole cause. I'm not just catching up reading the books because I want the role. I read one of the first books when I was still in the Army. And granted, when I read it, I thought, holy crap, this is me. I'm Jack, Jack is me. Which came first, chicken or the egg? Fast forward to now, obviously I fully believe I want that role, and I am that role. But with that being said, one thing as a fan, let's just use an example of Batman. I love Batman character. I love the Batman 66 character. I like the take that the Ben Affleck Batman is doing based on some reference and source material. But at the end of the day, I know it's an actor playing the role. It'd be awesome for him to fulfill a lot of the things I want the character of Bruce Wayne and Batman to have from the actor they cast. But it's a fictional character that they have to choose from real world people to fill. So yes, some people are really passionate about Jack Reacher, as am I, as an actor and a fan. But I need people to know he's fictional, right? There's not going to be one human on this planet that is exactly Jack Reacher, because Jack Reacher is a fictional character. Ideally, you find an actor, hopefully me, that fills as many checkpoints as possible. And then the rest that hopefully, the remaining check marks I don't fill, I fill through the thing called acting. So this is a fictional character, and every time, I'm so sorry, I try not to do that, but every time somebody says, one example, and again, I'm not trying to read into text because text I know can come across misleading, but I posted, actually I was posting that I was doing this live video today, and I got a couple of remarks that seemed slightly like, I posted it saying, hey, come check it out if you want to talk. And the two remarks, with all due respect, if you're watching, said something like, you know Jack Reacher's quiet and humble, right? Yeah, I do. I've read the books. I know the character description. I'm studying the character religiously. And so let's just assume, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt that those weren't digs, but they seemed kind of diggy. So let's assume they were digs. Yeah, I know Jack Reacher's quiet and humble. I can play quiet and humble, and I can play the character. Any actor should be able to do that. If you're looking for a human to exist on the planet that's Jack Reacher, the person doesn't exist because the character is a fictional character. That's where acting comes into play. And this ties into kind of one of my other points about how Hollywood works. Don't mistake this, in lieu of that, don't mistake this campaign for arrogance. There's confidence. I will absolutely say that. But me advertising, or the person seemed kind of a little upset that I put that I was advertising this live talk. It's not narcissistic. It's not because I go, when I'm going to rewatch this and stroke my ego. It's because I firmly believe in getting this role, and I firmly want fans to be part of that journey. And so to answer those little digs, yeah, I know Jack Reacher's quiet and humble. I know Jack Reacher wouldn't be on social media, but you do know there's a difference between the actor and the character. I intimately need you to understand that. People who know me know I'm a really nice guy. I'm probably a teddy bear most of the existence of my day. But I can act, and I've done some horrendous roles. I've played a child molester. I've played a man that tries to rape his sister. That's not Jeff. That is the character. So thank Christ that's not Jeff, because those are really messed up roles. So again, it's called acting. And then on that same note, again, just looking at notes, yeah, I know my hair is not blonde. And those of you know me, kind of know me with brown hair, so you probably think blonde would look weird, so you can't unsee that I have brown hair. But let's say whoever's met me meets me with blonde hair, a good blonde hair, sandy blonde hair dye job with eyebrows and whatever. It might not even think twice. However, it might not look right. Again, you need to get as many of the Jack Reacher isms as possible, and then the rest might have to be compromised or filled in some other way. Tattoo cover-up, hair dye, or just maybe not even hair dye. The character in Interview with the or not Interview with the Vampire, the book called The Vampire Lestat, of which the second movie was made of, from the Vampire Chronicles, the one after the Brad Pitt Tom Cruise Interview the Vampire. That actor, it's in the making of. The actor looked ridiculous with blonde hair, so they didn't give him blonde hair. The Lestat is blonde, thus Tom Cruise having a blonde wig in Interview the Vampire. So again, it's acting. We're trying to find, and me as a fan, I want to find the best Batman or the best whatever to check as many boxes as possible. The rest have to be filled in with makeup or lighting or effects or hair dye or whatever. So really need you to know that. And then moving on to the next topic. Here's my note verbatim. And thank you for the notes. I'm trying to read these as fast as possible, and I'll come back to them as I go. This is to address somebody in one of the groups. Look, me being loud online right now and doing all this, it's not me being a dick. It's because I care. Don't mistake this campaign as arrogance. I just refuse to roll over and die. And Hollywood is a game. Anybody that says otherwise is new or lying, or they're super successful and kind of can already just kind of roll with coast. Getting into Hollywood is not easy. Getting consistent work is not easy. So I admittedly, and I don't mean this maliciously, and I'm not bad-mouthing the industry, but I will play the game and I'll win the game. I'm not going to be able to change the rules. Unfortunately, there's some messed up rules, obviously. But let's say on the pure level, on the innocent good level, there are some rules of Hollywood I can't change. But I will win at them, and I will look at my battlefield, so to speak, and go, okay, let's just call Hollywood an IED. It's a really messed up metaphor, but as far as warfare goes, IEDs are brilliant. They're cheap. They destroy the morale of the enemy, us. They have a lot of damage to cost ratio. So IEDs are brilliant. So we're not going to stop the enemy from making IEDs, but we're going to learn how they do it and work around it and fight the battle and win the war their way, or win the war with those rules in place. It's how Hollywood is. I'm going to play the game. And I'll win my way. And then once I kind of have my inertia, I'll be like, all right, I don't have to do it your way anymore because I played the game to win, and now I'll continue. And then again, a lot of you on here are familiar friends and faces. Some of you are literally friends of mine. So you can back this. A lot of you, I'm new to you. I came out of the blue on this Jack Reacher thing, and I don't do that often. I'll like pimp out projects and whatnot, but I know, like when they're casting for Batman or something, I know they're not going to look at a new face. Studios are scared to risk lots of money on an unknown quantity, thus casting Tom Cruise in an inappropriately cast role because it's a guaranteed moneymaker. Fans obviously weren't happy. But for those of you, so I know I'm not going to try to push for the next, Wolverine or all that. I believe a lot of things, but I do know how the system works. But this one, Mr. Child said that there's a chance, or he's going to look at an unknown actor. That's 1 in a billion. That doesn't happen, especially for something major like this. So that's why I just went to town. And so I'm on a lot of people's faces and a lot of people's radar that have never seen me or met me. They only know me from this campaign, so to speak. And with that being said, if I'm new to you, I mean this sincerely with all due respect. Don't judge me. You don't know me. I put as much as I can online away from the Jack Reacher thing, so you can find me. Hopefully, get a vibe for me. I do these so you can get to know me. I post the interviews I do. I post the speeches and the talks I do. Excuse me. Sorry. So you can go back and kind of, I guess, stalk me and kind of get to know me. So you know that I'm not just this advertising campaign. I'm a real boy. So, and then my next point I want to bring up. I'm seeing all your comments, and I'll address them momentarily. My next point, and this is in regards to a lot of posts on other things. So this is slightly competitive, but I'm also saying this as a fan. I know I'm kind of my own worst enemy on this because I want the role as an actor, but I also want the role done right as a fan. And I'm the answer for both those scenarios. But we as fans need to know this. Somebody can look like a doctor and act like a doctor, but if they don't have the training, they're going to kill you. So we need to realize that looking the part is highly and crazy important, especially the height. We all know that when Child wrote these books, the height, the build, and all the physical features of Reacher weren't just kind of side descriptions. A lot of authors and books do that. Like they'll be like, oh, Lestat in Vampire Chronicles has blonde hair. That's that. So they just kind of move on. Just they help paint the description of the character to kind of, you know, help the reader see the character in their own mind. But we all know Child wrote Jack extremely specifically, and it's always a major point in the plot. So obviously there's very little compromise as far as Reacher's stature. However, perfect example, I can't think of the name, but somebody threw the name of a football player in. The dude has literally never acted in his life. He may, and so that's a perfect example. And then a lot of people chimed in saying, yeah, cast him. Again, none of this means to be on a pedestal higher than thou. I mean, a lot of this truly is a fan. But I would be super pissed if my book series that I'm a fan of got led by an inexperienced person that looked the part, that played football and had no acting ability. No disrespect to I can't remember who they said, but that'll suck. That will suck. Acting, yeah, I'm not saying acting's curing cancer. It's not, but it is to do it right and do it well and do the fictional thing justice. You kind of have to have a little experience and training, and you also need to be able to evolve as an actor based on your training and your experience. It's a constantly evolving process, and you throw in a football player or whomever that goes from and that's why I think a lot of people are like go look at famous singers and go, now I'm going to be an actor. Next thing you know, they're in famous movies. And some of them crush it, don't get me wrong, but it's also kind of like, God, this person just because of a name gets a chance. I as a fan do not want a football player playing Jack. He may pull it out of his butt and just be a natural actor, and I'll swallow some humble pie. But let's, as fans, look at casting. The part will only, if you cast the part based on a look, that's only going to last one episode before we realize you hired a cyborg that has no, odds are has no skill as an actor or experience as an actor or training as an actor. They just said, I'm a famous football player, now I want to be an actor. And then odds are they don't have the foundation to evolve as an actor or as a character, because if this is as of this being a series, this is going to be a very, especially depending on how they shoot it, especially if they do flashbacks or some sort of linear growth. That's like an actor wet dream to be able to play a character and actually portray that character growing. A lot of stuff you already have to have had that in your mind when you make a movie, because there's already that character has a lifetime of stuff that's not even in the film. Whereas a series, you get to build and grow that character. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're kind of not going to do the character justice. And as a fan, as an actor, I'd be pissed. And then this next bullet point, and I'll get to your stuff in here in a second. I'm so sorry. No, Guy, we agreed on Bosley. What was it now? Bosley Brink. I forgot what it was. I'll get to that, Guy, in just a sec. Bosley Believers. That's what it is, Guy. All right, and third to last topic, or second to last topic, a little glimpse into how Hollywood works. And this isn't like some jaded, wise vet on the mountain. I'm not The Rock. I'm not Hugh Jackman. But you don't have to be here long to know this. Unknowns do not get chances. They do, but it's rare. And a lot of times you'll see somebody come out of the blue. You're like, where'd this person come from? They're maybe not known actually on the screen, but they're known in a major agency, or that they're known within a circle of people who know the right people. So, and there's no gear. That's the one thing in this business I'll say is for new people coming in, or just people from the outside looking in that just don't know. There's no rules. I'm not saying any of this like it's the hard and fast way, but rarely will studios put money and have the main the person holding the show on their shoulders be a completely unknown, because millions and millions of dollars, and you throw in millions of dollars to a rock movie, it could go south, and it'll still profit. And studios love that. And I mean, wouldn't any of us love that? Is if we invest in something to be like, well, this could suck, but I'll still make money. So studios hate unknowns. I mean, I literally, you can't see it because it's on my computer. I literally have written in Sharpie on my monitor here, and to remind me how to act with studios and auditions, and it says, will they trust me with millions? And when I go into auditions or when I meet people or go to networking events, I need them to know, because I'm an unknown, that I don't know who this guy is, but I will trust him and believe in him enough to put millions into him and, you know, risk my livelihood. So it's extremely important to me that you guys know kind of how this works. So unknowns don't get chances, rarely. Like, so with Mr. Childs saying, I want to cast an unknown, that's already unprecedented. And a beautifully perfect example of this, to kind of give you a little background. If you don't know this, it's an amazing story. If you do know this, you'll know exactly what I mean. The movie Deadpool, for those of you who don't know, it's that comic book movie. Is the first one that took the rated R thing and went to town. Like Logan, the last Hugh Jackman Wolverine movie, it was rated R because of vibe and some violence and some swear words. But Deadpool 1 and 2 broke the rules. They barely deviated from the source material, because the source material was purely rated R. Jokes, vulgarity, swearing, the whole 9 yards. So when it's been brandied about for, I think, like a decade, people, I mean, probably even longer, fans have wanted to see Deadpool on screen, but studios were like, hell no. By making a rated R movie, you've narrowed your audience. That's why a lot of movies you'll see go to like a PG-13 where the content is truly rated R, and you'll wonder why didn't they make this movie PG-13? They've opened their audience. They've opened their ticket sales. It's just kind of producing 101. Wider amount of people that can go to the movie, more people will buy tickets. Narrower movie, less people buy tickets. So when people were saying, let's make Deadpool, and then, you know, if they're like, let's make it rated G so all the kiddies can see it, fans were like, hell no, I don't want to see Deadpool rated G. Took years and years and years. And Ryan Reynolds was a known. He is a known, obviously. But at the time he was pushing, and he leaked the footage. If you don't know this, CGI footage of a scene that actually made it into the first film was leaked to get fan support. And so you'll kind of see a parallel here. And that was Ryan Reynolds being part of that, or accidentally being part of that. His voice was in it, so take what you will. But Ryan Reynolds was a known actor, and he still couldn't get the studios to do it. And he's a known. So he had to use what his known name was to fight a studio that still didn't want to make a rated R comic book movie. And the thing that pushed the studio over the edge to make the risk, and even when they made it, they weren't sure how well it would do, obviously, was when the fans lost their mind when they saw the footage. So that's why I'm kind of riding on his template, is I'm an unknown. And so I got to do the same thing. So this is purely fan driven, and source material driven and author driven. If Ryan Reynolds is a known had to put that fight up, I have a hell of a fight ahead of me, and I'm not unaware of that. So that is why I'm taking this and I'm pushing it for all it's worth. Ryan Reynolds at least had his name. He releases a video viral. I mean, I don't know if you all are on Instagram, there's a picture of him, Jake Gyllenhaal, and I think Hugh Jackman. There's just 3 of them standing in front of a thing. It's the 3 coolest people on the planet. And just a picture of them making a silly face went viral. He can accidentally go viral. And he couldn't get Deadpool greenlit easily. So that is how Hollywood works, is studios do not want to throw millions of dollars into something and go, we have no idea who this dude is. And so that's why in the behind the scenes, me as an actor, you know, every decision I make, I constantly think about how studios look at me. You know, I still try to be real. And you're not going to find any footage of me online doing beer bongs. And if it was like one party, you're going to see somebody you can invest in and believe in, and that has family values, and somebody that the studio will go, all right, we don't know anything about this guy, but he seems like the kind of guy we're going to put millions into. So that's how Hollywood works. And the last point, I probably should have brought this up earlier, is a lot of people don't know what height and weight look like on screen. In the books, he's 6.5 feet tall, 250. I'm 6.5 feet tall now, actually about 240. I accidentally lost 10 pounds when I was sick. I don't look physically like the character. To be the character based on his description, and like a lot of people have comic renditions of him, I need to be almost like 280 pounds, which I'm fine. That's cool with me. I think any actor that wants a role, you know, I envy Christian Bale. He does what it takes to get the physical part. I apologize. I'll get 280 pounds. That's that. But people, the reason we don't know how tall certain people are is because movies use camera angles, right, wrong, or indifferent. To bring up Deadpool, Josh Brolin, he's not a tall guy, but he's not a short guy, and people love that. I mean, they put his name in, like, yeah, everybody, let's use him. If our argument is height, just purely height, wrong. He's short, and he's not the right physique. It would be a lot more camera angles. They couldn't make Tom Cruise look big, so we all, and I say we to be polite, but a lot of other people, not me, needs to realize if you're translating the book to screen, it's kind of like okay, perfect. For Barbie to, there's that thing, there's some sort of online thing that says if you took a Barbie doll and translated it to a real human, her numbers would be just absurd. That's Jack Reacher in real life. Not that it'd be absurd, but 6'5", 250 is still kind of a skinny guy. I'm kind of skinny-ish. I got a little, 40-year-old body fat layer, but again, Reacher isn't a bodybuilder. He's not like 3% body fat, but he's so super muscular, he looks lean. But 250 is actually kind of small for a 6.5 foot tall guy. To be the build, I've seen a lot of renditions people like, as far as like a kind of like almost graphic novel drawings. I've been 290, and I would almost have to be 290 pounds. That's an additional 50 pounds on my body. That's a lot. And I don't have a problem doing that, but a lot of people don't realize what 6.5 foot 250 is. So, and lastly, see if there's anything here. What I will do is the last part was a lot of people, and I'll not get too into it unless people want to. Some people explicitly, I've been kind of touching on it, but trying not to bore people to death because I want to be an actor, but not a bodybuilder. But in this case, this role has a training component to it. Some people have genuinely asked this, and I'm not making this up just to talk about my training regimen. Some people genuinely wanted to know what I'm doing to try to get to that. I'm basically Hollywood training. I'm spending just 8 weeks working primarily on upper chest, which will get upper torso. So chest, front shoulders, traps, upper back. I'm not doing other body parts, but by getting those giant, it will give the illusion that translates Jack Reacher to screen. So it will give this. It means I'm not looking out to be Mr. Olympia or a bodybuilder look. I'd actually, Reacher translated to a bodybuilding stage, he would lose because his proportions wouldn't be right. But to give kind of that Reacher optical illusion from page to screen, I'm doing this in multiple phases, but phase 1 is 8 weeks purely of just chest and back, mostly upper chest and back. My calories are through the roof because as I was sick, I accidentally lost 10 pounds. So I got to do even more and eat even more. So sorry. So that's the short of what I'm doing. Very little cardio, and also in my little believe it'll happen mind, I'm also not discounting athletic training, so I'm going to actually start going back to doing parkour. Believe it or not, this big ass body can do like some decent amount of parkour and freestyle, free running, because I still want to be nimble and athletic. So I'm going to go back to doing parkour. I do a lot of Jim Jones. Some people think it's CrossFit training. So that's very athletic. It'll keep me balanced. So because I'd like to fantasize, again, back to studios and money, they're scared to have the main actor do stunts because of insurance purposes. Tom Cruise is an anomaly. So I'd like to do as much as possible. So I want to make sure I'm athletic. I'm getting old. I need to not do anything unsafe and be broken. So I'm still lifting heavy things and putting them down, lifting very heavy, actually, doing a lot of that Jim Jones training for the functional athletic fitness part. And I'll be incorporating a lot more stretching and parkour and possibly if I can get to some stunt classes, I'll just do some stunt and fight classes just to kind of universally brush up my toolbox. So those are my bullet points. I'm going to go through the questions and answers right now. That was 30 minutes of me rambling. Lots of hellos. So I'll just say a blanket hello to everyone. Thank you for the support and saying I need this. Just reading. kind of spam message, so sorry, I'm ignoring you, brother. Thank you for the support, Brenda. Thank you, Adrian. Yeah, good point. It's like a job interview. Ryan, thank you for the perfect for the fit. And yeah, Susan, that's a good point. There's always going to be haters out there. If this goes the way I want it to, I know I'm going to have to just accept that. I accept it now, but the numbers are smaller. I know inevitably it's going to be giant. I'm definitely going to have to be babysat as far as trying to make everybody happy, because I know I can't, but I do want to be different. And the thing is with this whole, I'm just going to call it the campaign. This has never happened. The Ryan Reynolds Deadpool thing is kind of, but he was a known. And so that was where it was different. The way I'm doing this, the way I want it to, I fantasize that someday a child and I are on the couch for some late night talk show, retelling this story on how the fans made the casting. They cast the actor, and it wasn't, so like everything was this huge collaboration. I challenge anybody in the history of any movie or TV show where this happened. I'm not trying to like make that my platform, so to speak. That's just an ancillary cool story. That's not why I'm doing it, but I'm pretty sure this has never been done. So I know a lot of hate's going to come with it. And thank you, Brenda. I take this as a compliment, and I'll just relay this because if you guys aren't reading this, she goes, and I know she has been a supporter for a very long time. She goes, I've known you long enough to know you can morph into anything you need to be. Again, I don't think I'm an amazing, perfect cancer curing actor, but I do pride myself on a lot of people. I love, this is my best compliment. I get it, fortunately, a lot where people go, holy crap, I didn't think you could do that. Because, we live, this is an industry specifically where you're judged, the book is judged by its cover, and that happens a lot. I pride myself on one of my closest friends and instructors at the Strasberg Institute, kind of a world famous like method acting school from Stanislavski. He said when I first walked in the classroom, he just assumed I was some big muscle dude that moved to LA that wanted to be an actor. And he said he was pleasantly surprised, and he tells me the story a lot. He was pleasantly surprised after some of my first scenes, and he said verbatim, holy shit, he can act. And I pride myself on that. I get the business is judging a book by its cover, and I'll just prove everybody wrong. And I love the fact people are surprised. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, there's an audition scene I have online where you can tell I'm about to sexually abuse my daughter character when I speak in first person. The character is, and it's icky. It's really gross. I mean, nothing happens, but the air is there. You can tell what the character's going to do. And I love the fact that people go, holy crap, that's Jeff. I bought that, as messed up as that is. So, and everything, it's constantly evolving. There's what's great about the books and acting is there's, 20, I'm looking at however many I have, but I know there's 23, 24 books of source material. So, and I'm so sorry. And a lot of fans to help build that character. So a lot of the homework's already there. Cynthia, thank you for the pointing 3-finger metaphor. I forgot about that. That's very true. Thank you, Vicky. I know, if there's something you want, no, it's not arrogant to chase it. Hi, Courtney. Hi, Guy. And Brenda, yeah, I agree. And it's really hard for me to say it because I'm the one that wants the role, but I don't know who else they would cast. I really don't. I don't know. And thank you, Brian. I've known that guy forever. It means the world to me. One of my first short films I did in LA was with this gentleman. So I guess that's a good thing to touch up on. Brian asked if you shot any short scenes from the books to showcase your skills. I'm not confirming or denying that, but hypothetically, there is a major production happening to do just that. And anybody who knows me knows I don't do anything small or half-assed. In fact, I actually have a meeting when this is done to keep that going. And let me just say the bloodlines involved in this thing, hypothetically, involve Marvel, the Fast and Furious franchise. It's no joke. will get to Mr. Child, and I would like to think Mr. Child will go, all right, this is our guy, and then he will also use that to pitch me to whatever streaming service he gets to. So yeah, Brian, that's theoretically happening. Thank you, Adrian. I appreciate it. And yeah, like to touch on that, I mean, I've said this before, and it's online. I can be quoted saying this in multiple places where you hire the best actor, which I think as far as all the check boxes go, I truly think I'm that, because best acting is subjective. Obviously, that it's a subjective art. But I do know, and I'm not dense or pretend dense to the point where I don't know what I'm offering. I have acting, and I do have the military experience. I mean, the value a studio would get out of me for a role I was born to play is priceless. I mean, there'd be, I'd have to hone up on some things here and there. I'm not just plug and play, but I'm damn near as plug and play as it gets. They're not going to have to send me to some 12-week silly Hollywood actor boot camp to learn how to hold a gun. They've already saved that. Hell, we could start shooting tomorrow if they were okay with me not maybe being as big as they want. I mean, I'm ready to go. And yeah, thanks, James. Yeah, that's IAD is a perfect analogy for this industry, and I never thought about it. Yeah, Taylor, everything you just said exactly. And like you said, it looks like I've dropped 15 to 25 pounds. About a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, I was 290 pounds. Ironically, all I was booking were big dumb animal roles, and so I dropped almost 50 pounds, and I was booking more because I looked a little bit more human. Now, ironically, I need that back. Guy, I'm in there already. I'm in Reacher Creatures. There was actually some drama over there already. But yeah, no, I'm over there. I'm already in Reacher Creatures. Hey, Bridget. Yeah, Guy. I mean, Guy, like, here's the catch, though, Guy, is that actor, he was actually in Lost for a good chunk of seasons. So I get it. That's still for studios is a warm and fuzzy. So he wasn't completely, not like it's a resume PP comparing contest, because that is probably the closest comparison for me realistically. But Titus was a major role in Lost. So it's still studios they need that little warm and fuzzy. It's really annoying for the clawing your way up people. Thank you, Danya. Hey, Jay. Bridget, no, Barbie is not realistic, but I thank you for saying I will do fine. Thank you, Brenda. She says she's seen me move fast. I pride myself on being surprisingly nimble, despite the fact last year I was running and broke my arms. But yeah, I can do things a lot of people didn't think a big guy could do. Joseph, hello. I miss New York already. It's starting to rain here. Carsey, ask more questions if you want. I know you were one of the people who were specifically curious. I kind of brushed over it because I didn't know you were here. So I have more if you want. Thank you, Brenda, for those supporting messages. Thank you, Tina Marie. Yeah, again, this isn't like a part of or the reason I'm doing any of this, but yeah, I've never seen anything like this. I've seen actors cast in a role and then had to defend it passionately. And again, I go back to the Ryan Reynolds thing, but it was kind of before the internet was as much as it is, maybe, or maybe he didn't want to get online as much. I'm not sure. But yeah, I've never seen anybody do this. Not because they haven't equally wanted something, but if this is the only role I have for 10 seasons of a TV show, I can die happy. I wanted this role before I even knew I was actually going to take the risk to move to LA and try for it. The minute I read my first book, I was stupefied about how much this man is me. And again, to touch on that, that's an interesting point. Everything you get about me online is real and it's not fabricated, but it is, just like when you put on a professional face in a business meeting versus your drinking buddies, in private at a bar or at home. It's not that you're a fake or a different person. You just have different levels of filters. Excuse me. So my online presence is genuine and it's real. But truly, if I'm alone with myself and my thoughts, and I'm not campaigning and advertising and publicizing TV shows and movies, I really am. I'm Reacher. I love the internet because it allows me to interact with you guys, but I'm sick of technology. I like my coffee. I'm drinking tea because I'm sick as a dog, or my cough is still there. But it's uncanny. His mentality, his thoughts, his processes. If I were offline and somebody could just spy on me, they would see Reacher, and I know that, and I pride myself on that. So thank you, Tina. Thank you, Vicky. I do have the element of surprise, but I'm kind of losing it, which is kind of the goal of it, is because I need studios to, like when I met Lee for the first time, as I understand it, he already, the minute I saw me, he knew I was coming. Not like because he saw me there that night, but I go, "Hi, I'm Jeff," and he goes, "I know who you are." So it was awesome. Thanks, Joseph. That's another good point. It goes back to the point of, it's called acting. Judging a book by its cover, nobody would think I could play a funny TV series where my character was I'm a straight guy as Jeff, but my character was a straight guy infiltrating a gay swimsuit model cartel. And it was a hoot. It was so fun. And I know people that assume, based on my background, based on my upbringing, where I live, the jobs I've had, that I wouldn't want anything to do with it. I thought it was a kick in the ass. It was fun to goof around and play around and just not take myself seriously. And I pride myself on the fact that when people see that, there's been a lot of screen grabs from it that are taken out of context because people are just inappropriate. But if you watch the episodes, they're kind of in the same vein of like American Pie. It's kind of adult, vulgar humor. But if you watch them, they're funny as crap. And you're like, oh my God, I didn't think Jeff was capable of that, nor did I think he would do it. And it's fun as crap. So yeah, thanks, Joseph. That means a lot to me. And yeah. Hi, John. Hi, Lisa. Yeah, Lisa, I know you've been a long time person. So, and I want this to get big enough where I can literally go to my followers list and fly everybody to the premiere. That would be astonishing. Okay. Thanks, Brenda. I feel, when I say that, I physically feel fine, but there's this cough, and it's my throat's not sore, nothing's coughing up, but people have chimed in and said they've had something similar for months, which is not encouraging. Dave, great point. Yeah, you're meeting their personal representative. I love that. Yeah, Tina, I mean, I know not to, this is a funny comparison. Nothing in this industry you should set your heart on, and because it's an industry of weird decisions or decisions you may not understand. You just got to let it go, or you're just it's a constant up and down. And I've turned off my knowing to not get into it on this one. So if this doesn't go my way, I will probably be crushed. I might have to disappear from society for a couple months. But I like what Tina said, is I want this so bad I'll be more believable in the role, because I'm living, eating, and breathing this, and as is the director and screenwriter of the theoretical project that we're shooting. John, and that's cool. You're the great Mr. Connolly, a perfect example. He only knows me from the campaign, so he's new to me. And so that individuals like that gentleman, he is kind of the people I want to retroactively get to know me, because now, unfortunately, he only knows me from this guy just like going, I want to be Jack Reacher. Look at all these pictures. I'm annoying. So people like Mr. Connolly, it means the world to me that he gives me the time of the day to hopefully portray a character he holds so dearly. So thank you, Mr. Connolly. Kale. So I was an RA in college, and when I went to college in Washington, Mr. Kale here was one of my residents, and he says I was a great RA. So if you can't cast Jack Reacher from my skill set, my acting, and the fact I'm pretty much Jack Reacher, cast me, because I was a good RA in college. So that should push you all over the edge. Netflix, decision's been made. I'm a good RA. Hey, Trish. Yeah, so Mr. Matthew, I haven't gone live for a while. I'm trying to pace myself, because I know I'm pretty intense lately. Thank you, Brenda. very hopeful that's true. Mr. Collinsworth, yeah, I will be pretty crushed. I don't even want to think about it. I'm not good at that. I call it hippie stuff, but I'm trying not to think about it, ignorantly or otherwise. Thank you, Bridget. You made a good comment today, and I don't know where it was, but I remember, and I appreciate it. You took time to write a pretty good comment, so thank you, Bridget. So yeah, that's 45 minutes, unless anybody has new comments, which I don't see any. I literally went one by one. That's essentially it. I guess I'll just tell you what's kind of next on the horizon. Everybody's asking, when will they make a decision? The way films and projects work is there's kind of like tiers. Tier 1 is rumored, which is pretty much useless as far as dependability. The next tier is in development, which means people are involved. And then from there on out, I think this is in development. Well, I know it's in development because Mr. Child said it. His name's on the IMDb as an executive producer. And so it's in development, but there's no offices, there's no casting offices, there's no casting directors. So we're way ahead of the game, which is good because the minute the traditional system gets involved, new people are screwed, unknowns are screwed. They're not going to give you the time of the day. So, no matter, Mr. Child has a lot of say, which is rare, so that helps. But the minute traditional systems are in play, you have to professionally go through those traditional channels, which is just a professional thing to do. And they're not going to give you the time of day, right, wrong, or indifferent. So currently there are no channels or no gates to get through. So that's why I'm going to town on this. They said this. Yeah, and to answer that, that's kind of what I was talking about, at least, is a set decision date for casting the role. No, it's all unknown. And that's kind of the unfortunate, stressful thing about this industry is you don't know till you're told. There's no predictability. There's no set template. This could, this is kind of depressing. This could be 2-3 years for all we know. Deadpool took 10 years to use that example. And for all I know, I'd like to fantasize behind the scenes. Mr. Child goes, well, we met our Jack. Let's start signing some paperwork and get this done. Now that we know him, the rest is easy. So, Mr. Ducky, thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, that's where that's at officially. As far as I believe, I want to say Skydance. That's Mr. Cruz's production company. This is all online. This isn't like secret. I believe they're not involved anymore, which kind of makes sense if Cruz isn't. But I believe it's still under the umbrella of Paramount Pictures. And the only other knowns I have are Paramount Pictures and Child. And beyond that, it's all unknown. So that's as far as the official thing. Good question. Elise asks, but is waiting for this role limiting you trying out for other? No, I have an audition tomorrow, Elise, for a major show on CBS tomorrow or Tuesday. So no, I'm not looking for other work. But like I said, this is so astronomically such an anomaly where they're going to look at an unknown actor to lead a TV show for many, many, many seasons. Those auditions don't come across my plate, not because I'm incompetent or unskilled or whatever. They don't give unknowns that chance. So I don't even get this level of auditions. So I currently have had this level of opportunity to even conflict with this existence. So I'm going to keep on auditioning. I'll get parts in SWAT or SEAL team or NCIS, and it'll be in and out, shoot for a couple weeks. Like I was on Vice, that Christian Bale movie. Like I was there for 2 weeks and I'm in the movie for like 2 minutes. So no, and this is the other thing, at least to make it clear. I posted this the other day, is this is my job. So I use this to put food on my table. So no, I'm looking for work. I love my job. I love acting. Second to that, I love this role more than any other role I've ever considered or looked at ever. So no, I'm absolutely not looking at auditions. Like I said, I have an audition Tuesday. In fact, a little reveal, but I won't let you see it because it says what it is on here. But here's the script. Here's the details. I have to brush up on my Russian accent. So I always get cast as a Russian. So no, good question. I'm going to answer these real quick before I continue what I was saying. Okay, John, I'm about to answer that here in a sec after I read this. Yeah. Sorry. And yeah, so part one, or to continue the official parts of this, yeah, he's still Mr. Child is still looking for a showrunner, which basically it is what it sounds like. The person who runs the show, they're the everything, and then they trickle down from there. And sometimes that person can end up being the director for a while, or they might direct the first season and then hand it off. But yeah, there's Child and Paramount are the only things like factual. And even like that's the other thing is until ink is dry, just like anywhere in this city or in this world, in this city, that's just particularly true. You know, like great example is another movie I was pimping out. I was in Korea shooting it for 6 months, and I'm in it for now. I'll round up to maybe I was in the movie for like 5 minutes. So nothing is real until you're in the theater. So, but now the unofficial part of that. I don't want to get in too much detail, but if you like Killing Floor, and if you like the scene where he avenges Joe's murder, there are some major, ridiculously large things happening with that theoretically. That will sell Jeff Bosley as Jack Reacher. It will sell the individuals I know from Marvel and Fast and Furious. I've called in theoretically, I've called in all the stops for this thing. No joke. It will be awesome, and I'll probably get sick again. Let me put it that way. So for those of you who know Killing Floor, yeah, a lot of it happens in the rain and in a pool. So yeah. So that's kind of what's happening with short video segments, theoretically. I'm going Reynolds on that, but his was all CGI, so that's kind of not easier, but there's less moving parts. If hypothetically, obviously, I don't want to say anything committed, but yeah, for us, we have to get Bentleys, mansions, pools, rain. Ironically, it's raining right now. That sucks. Stunt actors, stunt performers, pads, wardrobe, food, towels. Did I say rain towers? Rain towers, wardrobe, rehearsal space, special effects, weapons. It's not a small thing to throw a little thing together, especially the way I do it. I don't half-ass much. Moving on. Brenda, no, thank you. I do this for that. This sounds cheesy, but I do this for you all to watch. I don't act to watch my own movies, so you watching me act is why I do it. So thank you. Interesting, Dave. Other than Lee Child's page, where else can we vote? Okay, I'll copy and paste it right now, Mr. Collinsworth. The change.org thing, we're not going to change anything with it, but we're going to be able to show numbers, which in an industry of needing to see proof, that's why I created this. So I'm going to post the petition from change.org. Can't answer that. Crap, I hope that didn't screw up my recording. I'm going to post the petition where you can actually do it, and it's a formal petition just so we can show numbers. So Dave, I'm posting it right now. See if that populates correctly. Testing. Oh crap, did it screw up? All right, I'll do that. All right, continued on. So Dave, I just posted the, I don't know if everyone has posted. I wish I brain dumped and didn't think to do that when I first kicked off this whole campaign. I wish I would have, because it would have made more sense. But yeah, the petition, I just posted it. It's in anything I post, it's there. I kind of constantly copy and paste the same little bio taglines, hashtags, so everybody always has the same access. But yeah, the petition's right there. John, honestly, I'm the idea of a GoFundMe for this hypothetical project has crossed my mind, because nothing is cheap, and the way we're doing it is super not cheap. So it's crossed my mind, but those always just, I have a weird reservation against those, not in a judgmental way, but we do need help. A I'll ponder that, I guess. Yeah, for those who noticed, yeah, it's the VA gave me that quilt, and I don't let Izzy lay on the couch or the bed without it, so she knows if it's opened up, she knows she's allowed to sleep on the bed. So yeah, that's Izzy. But I think I'm caught up on all the comments. All right, cool. That was almost an hour. I'll wrap it at that, so I don't just sit here and ramble. People are going to be listening to this, and I'm sorry. I will put this up on Spotify and iTunes as a free podcast, just for people if you need to listen to it in the car. Obviously, I'll post the hell out of the links and everything. I appreciate you all chiming in and interacting. Marvel equals show. Thanks, Bridget. Oh God, to be in a Marvel show. That's another dream. But thank you everyone for chiming in. Appreciate your comments, your feedback. Thank you, Mr. Conley. I guess keep the power, fight the power, keep me in the loop, tag, post, share. Any support is support. This is so unprecedented. That's the one thing I guess I'll leave y'all with is this is so unprecedented. There's no rule. There's nothing we can do wrong other than you saying bad things about me. But other than that, go to town. The power of the internet it's a real thing. And studios, if they can get a warm and fuzzy where they know fans are going to come and support a decision made, the best we can do is that. So, and just for me and my little inner spirit, this means the world to me. So I genuinely thank you. You guys giving a crap about it and believing it as much as I do means the world to me. So I will end it at that. So thank you everyone so much. Have a great, for me, rainy Saturday. All right. Bye-bye.